Donald Trump trending again today, and a new poll by Survey USA shows that the Donald beats any and all Democrats in a head-to-head matchup. And as Joe Biden says, that's a pretty big freaking deal. Here to discuss is the guy who knew all along that Trump was in it for the long haul. John Hawkins, rightwingnews.com. John, welcome back.
Gina, thank you so much for having me on. And I wish you're right. I wish I could be the one who predicted this and knew Trump was going to be doing so well. I didn't. I was just as surprised as everyone else that he's done this. I told him that when I interviewed him. I was like, man, I like you. I had no idea you would do this well.
I didn't know you were really that good, man. Oh, no, it has been surprising. The most surprising part of this Survey USA poll to me is that Trump gets 25% of the black vote in a matchup against Hillary. That's really a game changer for Republicans, isn't it, John? And why do you think that is?
Well, this poll is huge because, one, it blows away the whole idea that Trump's not electable. You can't say that anymore. He beats all the Democrats head-to-head in a poll. Number two, getting 25% of the black vote and 31% of the Hispanic vote, which is the same amount John McCain got in 2012. So as to why he's getting them, that is hard to say. I've thought about that. The only thing that comes to mind for me is I have always believed that about a third of black Americans, roughly, ideologically should be voting for the Republican Party, but culturally it's just unacceptable for them to vote for the Republicans. And maybe Trump is so far outside the mold. Maybe he is just so outside of that all these people who kind of like conservative think, well, I can vote for Trump and I'm not going to feel bad about it. That's my best guess. I don't know. It's a crazy thing. I mean, he's doing better than any Republican since Eisenhower with black Americans. It's amazing.
That is amazing. I have to tell you, I went this weekend and I went to Mexico, John, and I did get a Trump piñata, and I am going to bring it in studio. But I brought it home, and as you know, I live in a very, very much predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. I live right across the border from Mexico in San Diego, and my kids had some friends over this weekend, and when I carried in that Trump thing, they thought we were going to, we were going to beat it. First of all, I'm not into voodoo with real human beings. I couldn't do that with anybody. A minion maybe, but not a real human being. And so that was just not going to be happening, but I got to talk to them a little bit. And I will tell you, now, I don't know how many of them, they or their parents, are illegal. I got to get that out of the way. I don't know. There's no way for me to know. When they come to play with my kids, I don't ask them to show me their, their papers at the door or anything. But I do want to say that they are not.
What kind of conservative are you, Gina?
Right? They are
I think
not.
that's the law. You're supposed to make them show the papers at the door, right?
I just give
You're
them
going to ruin
cookies
our
and
rep.
love them and hope that they can learn, maybe, because my kids are very opinionated, maybe they'll learn a little bit from them about it. This doesn't have anything to do with not liking Mexicans. That's not the issue. But anyway, obviously, or we wouldn't be living there. But my question to you is, without missing a beat, the kids that I talked to this weekend all think Trump is evil incarnate. I mean, really scary, awful. They are scared that he is going to just deport all Mexicans, legal or illegal. I mean, this is really what's in their head. And it's the same thing in Mexico. You say his name and people just, it doesn't matter. Your taxi cab driver, it doesn't matter. So John, this is my question. Is there a way that this poll is only discussing people who are really paying attention right now? Because I have a feeling the people that I'm asking aren't really paying attention right now.
Well, I'd have to think that opinions are going to vary. I mean, keep in mind, the Republican Party's numbers with Hispanic Americans go somewhere between, for the most part, 20 and 40% every year. I mean, Bob Dole got in the low 20s. He got lower than Mitt Romney did when he ran. And those numbers just go up and down. And there's a certain number of conservative Hispanics who are going to like the Republican Party and like any sort of strong guy who's running on our side like Trump, and there's others who aren't. And as to the, can't really say about those kids, but I understand why people in Mexico don't like him. I mean, he's telling them, you can't keep doing what you're doing. You can't keep sending unlimited illegal aliens here. We're not going to allow that anymore. So when you tell people there's something they want to do that's wrong, and they know it's wrong, you tell them they can't like it, they can't do it, they're not going to be happy. If you tell somebody they can't keep stealing stuff out of your house, they're not going to be happy with you. So people in Mexico have a good reason not to like him. And then people who want that to continue, who want an unlimited illegal immigration to continue in the United States, are not going to like it either. And they're going to tell people he's a bad guy, he's terrible. So I guess it just depends on who you listen to, that kind of thing. But if you look at the actual numbers as to what he's doing, his numbers are fine.
And
they're not bad. They're
I'm
about what you expect.
assuming these are likely GOP voters.
Well, no, this is a Survey USA. This was this is, I believe, registered voters.
Okay, registered.
I think it was registered.
Well,
so
that matters.
Yeah, this is not just Republicans.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not just, yeah, it's good numbers. It's what we want, the type we're going to need from a Republican nominee.
Hard to dispute. All right, Trump has some support, though, also from Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. Brady's been showing off his Donald Trump hat here. I guess I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, hey, I like it. It beats the David Duke endorsement he got last time. Not a huge Brady fan, but listen, Brady, he's going to have other celebrities that come out for him if he runs. He's made a lot of friends and a lot of enemies over time, but there's celebrities who are going to come out and say, we love the idea that Trump's running. If Brady wants to come out and say, hey, I like Trump, I think that's a good thing. I mean, he certainly is not going to be coming out and saying, hey, I love Jeb Bush.
Yeah,
unless the Bush family's paying him.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's doing some interesting things that I wouldn't think that someone who had never been a candidate before would know to do. One of them is that I can tell he's talking to some of the really key people. One person in particular that I don't have a lot of billionaire friends. I do have one billionaire friend, and that billionaire friend is full on board with Trump, has been for months. He's talked to him, he's met with him. I think, you know, you look at those sorts of relationships that he's forging, and this is someone who's not been that interested in politics before, but could certainly make a big difference if he decides to be interested. And so is he getting stronger political advice at this point, John, than he was at the beginning where he was a little clumsier maybe?
I don't know if he's getting better political advice. I think he's just cutting his teeth and learning on the trail. I mean, he's a smart guy, and politics was very new to him. And I'll tell you right in the beginning, I don't know that even Donald Trump thought, hey, I can actually win this thing. Now the numbers are legit enough where he's going, hey, I could be the nominee. And he's starting to get a little more serious. He's starting to get a little bit more experienced. And I think you're just seeing a better performance that way. I don't know that it's the advice. I just think the candidate is getting better.
That's interesting. All right. Thank you so much for being with us. John Hawkins, check him out, rightwingnews.com.